Hello and welcome to Good Games Well Played, episode 214. I'm Clint, aka JCM. With this week is Messiah.
Hello.
And we were off last week. Just Izzy was busy, and then I just figured it was a good time not to go due to some other things. So we just skipped it that week. I didn't save any of the news because it wasn't too much, and it was all like small stuff, so it wasn't really worth saving. But luckily, there was at least a good amount from this week. I did see, and you could probably speak to it more. I think this was the only thing I actually did keep from. Sorry, I did keep two bits of news, but I saw that FF14's ending Windows 10 support in October.
Yeah.
Um, so I know they've done this before. Like obviously the PlayStation 3 lost support a long time ago. Like they just dropped it. Have they dropped a previous version of Windows support? Like did they drop like Windows 9 back in the day, or was it Windows 9? I don't even remember. I don't think there was. Um, like, is there a big concern amongst the community? Because I know a lot of people have like especially in the gaming community, have this like hate relationship with Windows 11. Like it's super bad, but I've like never had any problems, but it could just be my bias of just because I haven't experienced doesn't mean there aren't any problems. But is that like a concern amongst the FF community?
I don't think amongst the community in general, but I know I never I've seen them do this before with like Mac
Hmm.
systems because Mac changes their OS system
Oh,
and
right. It's
all
yeah.
that is so much more often. But I think the only reason that they're doing it is because Windows 10 isn't going to get security updates anymore.
Right.
So, uh, if something like happens to your account or happens to the game or something like that as a result of your operating system being out of date and therefore like something security wise has happened to your account, they can't offer support for that, obviously, like from a legal standpoint, even. So I think it's just more them like covering their butt rather than like we physically cannot support this anymore. It's more of like a legal thing.
Yeah, I did see they said, quote, "You will likely be able to play FF14 on Windows 10 systems even after the end of support. However, after we discontinue support, we will, as a general rule, no longer be able to provide support for problems arising as a result of the operating system."
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
It's
Yeah,
the
because
same
it
with the Mac,
yeah.
operating systems. They do that quite often, like, once a operating system or a platform doesn't receive even, like, security or firmware updates anymore, they remove support from it, quote, unquote, "support from it." So you'll still be able to play it on Windows 10. Oh my god, I'm hoping, because I don't have Windows 11. Uh, so you'll still be able to play it, but if something happens, that's on you, kinda thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and that makes sense. Like I was looking at like Windows 10, it'll by the time it ends its life in that sounds so dramatic. By the time they end the life of the OS, it'll have been, you know, slightly over 10 years since it's been active. And I guess that is a long time. 'Cause I was trying to think, I was like, man, Windows 10 hasn't been around that long. Like now it has. It's been around for
Yeah,
a while. 'Cause I was thinking, it's like in my head it was only been a couple years, and I'm like, nope, it's been a long time.
I know, huh?
Yeah, because it came out July 2015. When did Windows 11 come out? Maybe it's like because Windows 11 was initially in 2021. So it's like they do the thing where, Samsung will do whatever. It's like, "Oh, here's our new phone. We'll support it for 7 years with updates." And then because Apple do the same thing with like their phones as well. Like, "All right, we're no longer providing updates for like, X amount of generations old and what have you."
Mhm.
So yeah, it makes sense. And yeah, obviously you can go ahead and still play it. Just put it on like a PC that you don't care about having any issues or something. Not that people have multiple PCs to do that, but
Right,
I don't know.
yeah.
Gotta figure it out. But I thought that was interesting. Uh, and then I also saw something left over from last week is that Microsoft just like abruptly stopped doing movies and TV stores on Xbox and Windows.
Oh, yeah, I
Remind
saw that.
Yeah, they just without warning, they just, "Yep, can't do it anymore." Like, obviously, whatever you previously purchased is still available. Sony very much did the same thing when they got rid of the Sony storefront for their PlayStation Video. You can still access all your video content that you've purchased through that program on your console or any other device that has access to it. But,
Mhm.
yeah, they just straight up shut down. It's like, I guess it's so weird not to announce, like, "Hey, we're ending it." Um,
Yeah, to just,
like
like, stop it.
'Cause Sony ended their PlayStation Stars program, and they're like, "Hey, this is when we're gonna end it. You have until, like, where the campaigns are gonna end, I think, like a week or 2 ago, but the points are gonna be available until, like, this time." So I went in, and I was trying to get enough do the campaigns to get up to 5,000 points so I can get 2 $10 gift certificates for PlayStation Store currency.
Mhm.
Uh, but I I didn't do the campaign's quick enough. So I was like, I got at least got $15, so that's fine. But like they give you a big heads up. I'm surprised. Maybe it must have been the case where like no one was buying content on Xbox, perhaps because like I guess if your install base is so low and no one's doing it, they're like, we'll just cut it. It's not a big deal. You'll still have access, but it's just weird not to announce it ahead of time. And yeah, other than that, that was it from the week that we were out. I did see that Until Dawn developer Supermassive Games announced that they'll be having some layoffs, about 36 staff, but because of that, they are delaying their next game, which is the Dark Pictures anthology sci-fi
Mhm.
horror project Directive 8020, which I was really looking forward to. That got delayed. I'm trying to see when exactly, to the first half of 2026, they say. So yeah, hopefully that game can make it out because that looks really fun. I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, they did have around 350 employees, I believe in 2 years ago in 2023, about that time. And so they laid off a decent amount over the past 18 months. I think that the article said I was reading was about a third of the studio, which is unfortunate. And then next, I saw that Still Wakes the Deep had a DLC come out for it a bit ago, but the Chinese Room, who's the developers, they announced that they did a management buyout and they got their independence back from Sumo Digital. I guess there was
Oh.
concerns, yeah, which is really cool. I always like when I hear when like someone gets there, they get back like, hey, we're in a good enough spot financially where we can go ahead and go back to being independent. But yeah, I know there was concerns, I guess, that Sumo was going to sell them to like a Tencent or another big company because Sumo was looking to refocus its efforts and quote on exclusively on developing services for partners rather than to work on original franchises. They were worried that they were going to be bought out or sold off to someone else. Like, nope, let's just get our independence back. So that's good to see. And then another thing I saw I thought was funny is Xbox. So the Outer Worlds 2 was going to be $80 originally, and they reverted to $70 and refunded folks who bought the pre-orders and whatnot. Xbox spokesperson said, "quote We're focused on bringing players incredible worlds to explore, and we'll keep our full price holiday releases, including the Outer Worlds 2, at $70 in line with current market conditions." So it's like okay, because previously pre-orders were 80. They're like, nope, we're gonna drop them back down.
Hmm.
That's interesting. I feel like we don't usually see a revert of a price. I don't think I've seen an increase of a price either after a game's been announced, but yeah, good for consumers, I guess. And then another bit of news I saw this week was Sony has acquired a 2.5% stake in Bandai Namco, reported from IGN. Sony said that the 16 million share acquisition forms a part of a broader, quote, strategic partnership, end quote, with Bandai Namco, and, quote, will focus on expanding the fan community for IPs such as anime and manga around the world and strengthening engagement. Sony said it has historically collaborated on various projects in fields such as games, anime, and music, and they hope to extend this collaboration to a broader range of areas. So it sounds like, Sony obviously has a big stake in some anime. I think they buy Crunchyroll a ways back.
Oh. Was that Sony? Yeah, I guess so.
Let's see, Sony buys Crunchyroll. Sony, yeah, they got Crunchyroll back in 2021 for $1.17 billion.
Jesus
They
Christ.
I didn't know Crunchyroll is owned by AT&T. That's hilarious. Uh,
Wait,
yeah,
what?
so yeah, Sony Funimation Global Group, a joint venture between Sony Pictures Entertainment, Sony Entertainment Japan's Aniplex purchased Crunchyroll from AT&T. Yeah, they merged. So it's like, okay, that I guess that makes sense. So then you get access to Bandai Namco. They've got a lot of IP that could be good for anime, I suppose. Like maybe we'd see like Souls anime or something. I could see that being a thing. And obviously everything else that Bandai Namco does. So
Mhm.
obviously it's not purely just a games focus kind of partnership. It could be like, oh, movies, everything else, yada yada.
Yeah.
Which they said they're doing an Elden Ring movie, right? So it's like, okay, well now Sony has a decent stake. Obviously, 2.5% might not be a whole lot. Maybe I don't know what that compares to other folks who have investments in Bandai Namco, but that means they could be at the table talking. We'll see what happens there. Then some unfortunate news. Well, I made it sound so bad. Dying Light: The Beast got delayed by about 4 weeks to September 19th. I was looking forward to that game. It's going to come out in August, but now I got to wait till September. So that's unfortunate.
I
And
wonder
then
why they delayed it. Did they say just like fixes or something or?
allow for extra polishing, which I'm always curious, like how much extra polishing can you do in 4 weeks? But it must be a decent amount because, like, I remember when that documentary for God of War, Raising Kratos, when they announced like they were pushing when they delayed it to that game a couple months. Like they had like a lot of bugs at the time,
Mhm.
like a lot. Like they're like we should be here. This is where we are. So they had a lot they had to do. So I'm curious, like, yeah, how much more polish I mean, I imagine you could probably do a lot in a couple months. The problem is, like, I always imagine with polish is like you fix it, but then you have to compile it and then play test it to make sure it worked. You know, it's not like you're just like a drawing or something or painting or whatever. It's like, okay, we can just if drawing, just erase this, do whatever, to draw the line again. It's like, yeah, you're doing some of that, but like on a code level, and you have to make sure it all works and make sure the
Yeah,
problem
and it's
doesn't come
so
back
vague
again.
too. Like, are you polishing gameplay and mechanics, or are you polishing, like, graphical stuff? Like, "Oh, we found a seam that doesn't line up, and you can see through the world. Haha, very funny. We're just gonna go ahead and close that real quick."
Yeah, it has to be something where like mock reviews were calling something out, perhaps maybe on the gameplay
Mhm.
side, like obviously not story, but like something where it's like, okay, people like, XYZ, but this thing's a real sticky point. Can we improve it? Yeah, we can do it in 4 weeks or whatever. And then
Yeah.
push out or 2 weeks, 'cause then you gotta put out your gold disc for unless they, do that thing where they push out the gold disc and then they just have a day one patch, but people who don't have internet are just gonna have to deal with the bugs.
That has
But
to be what it is, right? Like, that's so not enough time to push back an entire production.
yeah, it's gotta be like, something that doesn't feel good, like the movement's almost there, but it's not there, or like mantling isn't good, or like an aspect of the gameplay just doesn't quite feel good, and all the mock reviewers are kind of calling that out, and all the playtesters, and like, okay, we need to polish this one thing where we thought it felt good, but everyone's saying now it's like it's too sticky or too floaty or whatever. It's like, okay,
Mhm.
let's tweak these values, find the good one, and we'll just delay 4 weeks, and I'll give us time to update whatever mechanic we got to do. But uh and then I did see that the Clair Obscur developers were both at uh, Kojima Productions. They visited there, signed the wall for those who come after, and they went to Square,
Ooh.
which I thought was interesting. Yeah, so they went to Square Enix to quote, I guess, exchange ideas. Let's see. Uh, in a tweet from, I'm trying to see here, get the exact information. Let's see. So from according to IGN, Claire Obscur, Expedition 30 game director. Oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm gonna butcher these names. Guillaume Broche. I'm no, I didn't. And producer Francois Maurice and technical director Tom Gillerman, as well as publisher Kepler Interactive CEO Alexis Garavarian, took a trip to visit Final Fantasy publisher's office. And in a post, they let's see, Hamaguchi described it as quote creatively rich exchange of vision and ideas end quote. So
I like that.
yeah, I'm curious like what's going on there. It's probably like, yo, we played FF7 remake. We really like this aspect of it, or but we couldn't get in our game, or we played Clair Obscur 33, and I know people love the turn-based stuff, and you made it more active, kind of like we did here, yada yada. So I'm curious what kind of style. I'm sure there's a lot of inspirations from obviously the classic RPGs from Square
Mhm.
make those influence they could talk about. So who
I
knows if
like
that'll
the
lead to
I
anything?
I like the idea that Square Enix invited the Clair Obscur dev team, basically, and we're just like, "How the fuck did you do that?"
Yeah. How'd you find the balance? We built it in a cave for the boxes.
"How'd you make
No.
such a good game? What did you do? How did you do
Yeah.
that? Will you make one
uh,
for us?"
yeah. That'd be crazy, man. Do has there been a thing like that where like they take like a classic franchise and that like you could almost do that with like a Final Fantasy or something where you could have like these offshoots that aren't mainline and be like similar to like an anthology series, right? Be like, hey, what if we let someone, they always like fan pitch, like, who would you love to see make the next Final Fantasy or make the next God of War? Like, what studio aside from the people who make it? Like, would they let an outside studio, like, what if you made like an offshoot game that's in this
Mhm.
franchise? Like, hey, Capcom do it with like a Resident Evil. Like, okay, let's have someone else, like a Western studio, make a Resident Evil. Let's have someone else do an RPG, Final Fantasy One. Uh, that's just like a one-off title or something. That'd be interesting. Because you see it with like Star Wars is a great example, like the Star Wars visions and having like all the Japanese animation studios, like them doing some stuff and everybody else doing stuff. I think that's like really cool when they do that. Or like they
Mhm.
did that when they did like anime Rick and Morty one, like that was a cool idea. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool. It'd be cool to see that in video games. So video game dev time is so much longer. It's like there's it'd be tough. And then the other thing is Elden Ring Nightreign will be getting its two-player duos mode added in on the 30th of this month, so just a couple days away. So folks who want to play duos, it'll be, I'm sure it's just a balanced patch. Obviously, you can do duos now, but it's not necessarily balanced for two people. Now you just have a specific duo queue you can do. So that'll be good. I'm curious, like how much better it'll feel with that mode added versus doing duos now. And maybe I can actually play it with Isley at some point. Who knows? I mean, I haven't played anything with that guy in so long. I don't know. And then the last thing we had there was a campaign reveal for Battlefield 6 that came out this week. It was just in-engine cinematic kind of tone piece for the game, which launches well, supposedly October 10th. Although they're going to do the big multiplayer game mode revealed on the 31st. It's like, hey, here's the campaign trailer, and then we'll have the multiplayer trailer. But now it's like I've been seeing a bunch of the closed alpha footage showing up on YouTube, but I'm like, is the NDA up for that footage? And that's why they're saying go ahead and post it because I'm like, I'm seeing a good amount of it. And like I'm like, okay, they must be allowed to do that now because the multiplayer is going to be revealed and they feel like, okay, where we're at's in a good place where we were in the alpha. Because like the alpha footage like looks good. Like it's not like it's bad. I'm like, yeah, this looks like Battlefield 3 and 4, which is like fan favorites. So I'm curious to see what the full reveal looks like on the 31st because I would love to see Battlefield come back to be what it was, at least at that Battlefield 1 era. Like 5 was decent, but it definitely like they tried to do too much too different, and I feel like that was where it hurt. And then
Mhm.
2042 just wasn't good. And yeah, other than that, that pretty much the news. Like I said, not a whole lot going on. Just I know San Diego Comic Con's going on right now. I don't think there's much. I don't think video games have been part of SDCC for a while. I think it's all been like they kind of left. Even if there was like a movie, like an IP tie-in, I don't think games have been part of SDCC for a while. So nothing out of there.
And if it is, I imagine it's just like on the show floor, just as like a little presence, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that is the one thing I did see. I forgot. Speaking of, I think this was at maybe this is at SDCC. But Amazon said that they're going to be working on with Machine Games to create a Wolfenstein TV series. I'm like,
Oh
there you
yeah.
go. Yeah. So there's that. I love this quote here. I'm reading this initial paragraph from IGN, who's reporting on it. Details came from from Variety. Sorry, which states that the show, based on the iconic Bethesda Softworks property, is in development. Although no specific plot details are ready to be shared, the team behind the Wolfenstein series shared an official log line that makes things nice and simple. Quote, "The story of killing Nazis is evergreen." End quote. I'm like, there
I
you
mean,
go.
true, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, go for it. I mean, it could be like, Man in the High Castle was a couple years back. Like, you can always make a Wolfenstein one, bring it back, and then it'll be we've experienced the Nazis in the US in that show and, you know, other things. But it's like, yeah, make a TV. I'm sure they'll call it some folks will call it woke. Oh, woke show killing Nazis, huh?
Imagine, oh my god,
That would be
Jesus
so
Christ.
funny.
Yeah, there will be people. There will
Yeah.
be people.
I'm curious if it's gonna be BJ Blazkowicz or if it'll be someone else, but I'm curious like who will play the character. And yeah, if they'll follow just I mean, I feel like following the story of the newer games would be the way to go because you have that time jump, so you're not stuck in, the 1940s, like you can jump
Mhm.
ahead and whatnot. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, it could be I'll watch it. Glorious Bastards is a fun time. I'm sure watching Wolfenstein could be a good one. Will we get the monologue, the inner monologue stuff from BJ Blazkowicz? That'd be nice because that's a staple of those games. But and then yeah, again there was some SDCC stuff about I think the guy who's doing the God of War game or TV show. He was talking about how he wants it to very much feel like the tone of the game. So, but no stuff there. They're interviewing the folks for Twist Metal Season 2, which will be very much about the games itself and not just the setup to it like Season 1 was. So they had those folks there. But yeah, not much else for video games. It's pretty much it. All right. Well, we can go ahead and move into what we've been playing. It's been a bit. Have you been playing anything new since you beat Death Stranding or Michael beat Death Stranding?
No,
No.
Ragnarok. Like,
Ragnarok? Yeah.
literally just been playing Ragnarok. I got him to start playing the Ragnarok that I'm playing, so now we're deep in the hyper focus hole at this
Nice.
point. I'm playing two different versions of Ragnarok. Basically the same game, just two different types of servers. So uh we are fully committed to the hyper focus at this point. So that's literally all I've been doing. But I do have a very deep itch to play a turn-based RPG again. And I'm trying desperately not to just start a new playthrough of Clair Obscur, even though I probably just should because I want to and I want to play a good turn-based game. But I do have on my Switch, I still have I Am Setsuna and Alliance Alive to play. So I think this week I might pick one of those up and start playing that just to see if I can break away from this mobile version of Ragnarok and not start a third version on like a private server of the original because then I'm just way in too deep. But no, we're just embracing the hyper focus at this point.
Yeah. That's good. At least you're on the same versions. Yeah, I thought
Mhm.
about it a lot with like how Minecraft is always like, oh, it's like the Minecraft Java, Minecraft Bedrock, and it's like there's so many different versions of Minecraft, and I was trying to figure out like, okay, well, which version's on the Switch, which version's on here, like, trying to
Right.
figure out it. Can the kid play? If I want to play with the kid, which one do we have to play on? But then we got to deal with the fucking Microsoft account, which is the worst goddamn shit in the world, man. Fucking hate that makes Minecraft so shitty. It's like, oh, sorry, couldn't log in. Can't log. I'm like, what the fuck? I hate it so much. But yeah, I haven't played too much. I didn't play too much last week. But this week, yeah, I've been playing. I'm only on chapter 9. I just got to chapter 9 on Death Stranding called Puppets. It's interesting how many character cutscenes are side. I guess it's like side content, like optional.
Mhm.
Like the Tarman one, like you have to find the picture, which you find anyways, but then it's like, do you want to talk to him about it? And it's like yes or no. Or like Dollman and seeing like his little cutscene of his story is like a conversation you have to have with him.
Mhm.
And he's just, sitting there on the shelf next to the door. So I'm like, okay, it's interesting that it's like it's there. Yeah, tragic story for that character too. Like, oh, the wife dies in a tar tsunami, but he's a medium, and the daughter wants to see the mom again, and they find her, but she plays the music on the iPod or whatever, and then it makes her freak out because she's not quite there, and then they get sucked into the tar, and her hog gets stuck in the or her cog gets stuck in the doll, but then he saves her, pushes it out so she can go on to the afterlife, but now he's stuck, and he's like, I can't get out, and I'm like, man, tragic guy,
Michael
poor
was
dude.
so mad. He's like, "Why the hell would you go there in the first place and then bring your kid?" He was like ranting about it.
It's like, I get it, like, I missed the part where he said he was a medium.
Mhm.
Uh, so when I was I had the same question, it's like, "Why would you do it?" And then he's like but then he says, like, in a follow-up dialogue line when you talk to him as back in your room, he's like, "Yeah, I thought, as a medium, I would be able to do it, but I think deep down I knew, like, it wouldn't." I'm like, "Oh, that's right, you're a medium, that's right." I'm like, "Okay, that makes sense because you think you have a connection because you see with, Mama how in the first game how she's like has her baby because the baby died when she got buried under rubble whatever, like the baby BT is like totally fine, not causing any problems, but they're like still connected, but that's because she did die.
Mhm.
And everything, but it's like, okay, it's like they can be kind of safe in that instance, although when I'm out in the field and I see a baby BT, I'm like cutting that cord, man. I'm getting close. I'm
Get out
taking
of
you out.
here.
You were gone. But yeah, that game's so fun. It's I wish I would. I'm really enjoying what I'm playing. I think I would enjoy it way more if I had the same amount of time to dedicate to it like I did for the first game.
Mhm.
I think that's my biggest problem is I wish I could spend more time with it. But then every time I jump back into it, it's like I'm like, yeah, this is great. I love it. Like I'm in the mountains. It's interesting that there's way less like BT zones in this game. I think we talked about it last time. Like there's definitely like fewer of them. Like especially in the snow. Like I was like, man, I remember getting in the mountains in the first game, and it was like BTs all over the place. At least like some pretty significant paths you cross, and like there just haven't been any so far at all. Like in the snow, like they make you some missions make you go like, oh, you have to go to this BT spot, or you have to find the headless rider, the ghost rider, and but yeah, there's not nearly as many specific spots where like, oh, here's like a BT patch here or there. So I feel like they tone that bit down to make because there were a
Yeah.
lot in the first game.
I think that was, well, one of the biggest things that I remember being like a thing with the first one is people are like, "Oh my god, the snow area is so brutal," because like you're dealing with the snow and there's BTs everywhere. And then my boss at work actually played the first one not too long ago, not even knowing that the second one was coming out. So he's playing the second one now, but he played the first one and I heard him talking to another coworker. He was like, "Man, the snow area sucks." I was like, "Oh yeah." I remember
Yeah,
that that was a problem.
it definitely is like a bump up. And what I think makes it hard is because you have to go slow,
Mhm.
but then your containers are taking damage. So it's like, okay, that's really the thing that sucks. Is like unless you bring container spray with you or whatever, it's like that would up. But then once you set up each of those facilities, you just put up the zip lines, and it's like, yo, I'm zip lining all over the place. And I still love putting the zip lines up in the snow area here, and I do love just going around the snow and whatnot, just trucking along. It's funny, I forgot at one point that the coffin board can only run in the chiral network. So I was like going down a hill. I'm like, "Ooh," and then I hit the edge of the chiral network in this one spot, and I fall off the board. And then I see someone else's board just sitting there right at the edge. I'm like, yep, someone else fell off there too. And then they just left their board. I'm like, I'm
Same
not
brain
gonna
cell.
yeah, it's like, I'm not gonna I like because I didn't use it too much, and I'm like, "All right, can only work in the chiral network." So yeah, I was like, "My bad." But yeah, it's fun. I love same again, building the roads. I built a lot of the rails in the first area. I haven't put too much in them so far in, like, the eastern part of the continent, only because I'm putting more into the roads. But, yeah, I love and I just love, like, I had that mission where it's like, "Oh, you have to go find out about this ghost rider that's attacking people at night," and then it's like you find out, "Oh, you need a bike, like, you to trigger the event." And, like, there's, like, this personal garage that's put right next to the road, and there's, like, a couple bikes that were stored in it. I'm like, from other players, I'm like, "This is awesome." Like, I didn't have a bike, and so I just take the bike that they stored, and I go and do the mission. I was like, good times. It's just fun. I love that bit of it. Or, like, people that have, like, really good generator positions, I'm like, "Oh, this is, like, a perfect generator." Or, like, it's interesting, in the first game, I never really used those, watchtowers, like, where you can, like, scan an area and look ahead. In the first game, they
Mhm.
put it as, like, "Oh, scan the route you wanna take." I'm like, "Just use the map, it's 3D." Like, why would I wanna scout like this? But keep there because there's so many more outpost locations, I feel like they're really useful in this game, to go and do them. So those are fun. But yeah, I did just, man, I thought, like I did the mission where it was like I think it's right before chapter 9, where it was like, "Oh, there's another little bullet factory. Go down, destroy the 3 things that are fabricating them, yada, yada." And there's, like, this one bigger mech that's, like looks like the one that carries Higgs in it. And it's like, it's really strong. And then I killed it, but I killed it last, but it drops its, like, heavy machine gun, and I picked
Mhm.
that thing up. I'm like, "Hell yeah, I got it." And I was like, "There's gotta be, like, a big fight right after this, right?" Like, I destroyed the fabricators, I leave, and there's another big fight coming. Because like, even Dahlman said, like, "I think there's a big fight coming," like, when we went up. I'm like, "Well, yeah, the mission is destroy the robots." But then there was no, like, follow-up attack, and it's like, "Damn it, I really wanted to use this big gun." I, like,
You're
took it
just
with me,
walking around with it like, "Hello,
I
anybody?"
dropped it on the DHV Magellan. I just, like, put it on the inside. I'm like, "Okay, you're staying here because you can't store it." But, I think then when I went to go do the missions in the snow, like, I got too far. It's like, "Oh, it's been your cargo's been lost." It's like, "Damn it, I lost
Mhm.
my heavy gun." Um, but yeah, it's just I like that game. The mountains look so good in the snow area. I really want it to be nighttime in that so I could see the sky because I haven't caught a good glimpse of it at night because there's always been clouds, especially when you're at the, like, the lower land areas. I'm like, "Man, I
Mhm.
really wanna see the sky. Let me see or see the moon in full." It's like, man, come on." But, yeah, I'm curious how many chapters there are. I'm trying to remember how many there were in the first game, but, I'm not too far because I think I'm only, like, 27 hours in. I know I'm at a part where it's like, "Okay, something big's gonna happen story-wise," so I stopped playing last night, even though I could've 'cause I didn't wanna, like, commit where it's like, "Oh, we need to go here," and, like, Fragile tells you, like, "If you have anything you need to, take care of now, go ahead and get it done before you head out." Because I think said something like, "Oh, the Magellan's gonna be out of commission for a bit." I think 'cause they're worried that we're gonna get attacked by missiles or something, so Tarman wants
Mhm.
to, like, retrofit it. I'm like, "Alright, well, I'm not gonna do this mission, I wanna go do some side stuff first." But, it's also I forgot, like, how much you should get every prepper to 2 stars, because that's, like, when the item that they give you unlocks. so I was like, I forget what it was, but there was someone I got them to tier 2, and it's like, "Oh, here's this thing." I'm like, "Oh, that's right. At tier 2, that's like when you," and I think one of them was one of them who studies, like, chiral, like, like, chiral creatures in, like, the blood or something like that, and then, like, she gives you the little goo hat. So, like,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
the creatures don't attack you. And I'm like, it just looks so funny with Sam walking around with slime on his head. I'm like, "Hell yeah, brother."
We had that on
Th
during a very intense cutscene on
That's
accident, and I
hilarious.
was like, "Oh, this is inappropriate," but I'm glad he's here with us. Our
Yeah,
little
I think that
slime.
there's, like, one I think where it's like I walk in and Tomorrow's sitting there practicing with the apples and look at Sam, and Sam looks at her, but he's got this slime on his head because it's like a it just looks so silly. And he walks away. Luckily, like, there was that scene when and man, they're going spoilers for Death Stranding 2, of course, but, like, that one part where I'm like, "Oh, he's got Pokemon in this game," because, like, it's like, "Oh, you can capture BTs and then
Uh-huh.
throw them out," and then later, I think it's at the right before chapter 9 or after chapter 9 starts, but, like, because Roger's like, "I think Hartman's been sleepwalking," and then you find out, "Oh, it's Deadman because 'cause he's got his heart," and he's like,
Mhm.
"What, in the Metal Gear Solid 2?" And then I'm like, "Got that in this game too." Like, there's so much stuff. Got kaiju battles with my BTs fighting the
And
other
it plays the
BTs.
music. Oh my god,
Yeah,
that's
I
my
know.
favorite.
It's so funny. I thought, like, once I used it and it timing out, like, I couldn't use it anymore. I'm like, "Okay, you like, one and done." But then I was, like, going through my items, like, "Oh, I still have the BT. I just gotta have the grenades to throw it." So I'm like, "Okay." I thought, like, I'd have to capture another one. I was like, "Man, I'm not gonna do this mechanic if I have to capture." It's like, "Oh, no, he's still there. I just need the crystals or whatever." Like, "Okay,
Mhm.
that's not too bad." Although I was kept trying to catch those lion BTs, but those guys are so hard to throw the grenade in the face. I'm like,
We
"Man."
couldn't get one. I think the
Yeah.
only one we reliably had well, we had the squid one,
Uh-huh.
and then, he caught the hand one too, but he's like, "I'm not gonna use that while you're here," and I went, "Thank you."
Nice. Yeah, I feel like the Squirrel was pretty good 'cause, like, a big BT, but I was like, yeah, I was like, trying to get the Lions, like, those are I think it's the aggro problem, like, they're too focused on the squid that I'm like, I can't throw it at their face, and, like, I was up on this building and, it's floating in the tar, and there's one that fell down, it was low HP, and I kept trying to throw it in the face hole, like, as best I could, it's, like, not working, I'm like, "Alright, I'm just wasting grenades now," so it's like, "Whatever, I'll just shoot it, I don't care."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun time, I'm enjoying that game. And then, I haven't played a bit I went back and started playing some, StarCraft 2 against the AI. I've been playing that bit just 'cause I got a kick to play StarCraft 2, that's fun. Although the problem is, like, the AI, even on the highest difficulties, like, can be easy if you know what you're doing, but I don't wanna start laddering because 'cause I'm like, I know it'll just be either I'll get swamped because 'cause I'm gonna have to play placement matches, and I was like, I don't wanna play. It'll be too stressful, to play on the ladder. It's like, I don't wanna do that. And then, uh went back and started playing some more, Icarus, been playing a little bit of that, just running around. I did download a demo for a game called Demon Bluff.
Mm.
It's like a single player Among Us. It's like you get dealt with these deck of cards in like a circle, and you have to decide like who in the village is the demon. And like each card has different stuff. It'll be like one's like she's like a I think the character's like a drunk or something. And they're like, if ever I'm the demon, I always or they're a medium. It's like if ever I'm the demon, I always say that I feel dizzy if they're like possessed by the demon or whatever. I always say I'm dizzy or whatever. And so if they highlight that card and they say I'm dizzy, you're like, okay, that's a demon. Then there's other characters who are like, "Oh, I'm 2 spaces away from a demon," 'cause they're like the hunters, like, they can sense it, and there's, like, a judge card where, like, you can click them and have them check someone else to tell you exactly if they're lying or if they're telling the truth, and it's like but if you kill too many villagers by making bad guesses, then you fail. So, like, you have to kill the demons, and first there's, like, 1 demon, eventually you get more cards, the circle gets bigger, and there's, like, 2 demons, and then it becomes, like, this social deduction of, "Okay, well, this one says there's no demons to the left and right. This one says 1, 5, and 6 are one of them is lying, but this one says this one is good, so that's clearly a demon in disguise. Because why would they back this person up?" And so it's been fun to play, but it's like again, it's just a demo, so I'm not too far into it. I played a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, I should save for, like, stream or something." Uh, and just playing some Auction Not Included, playing a little bit of that, as well. So I'm kinda, like, all over, some Crazy Warfare, like, whenever because I wanna be able to have enough time to usually I play those when I only got, like, 40 minutes or something. Like, "Alright, I'm gonna
Mhm.
play some of this," or, like, Oni's easy to play with just the mouse, so I can play that when the kid's with me. And then, yeah, Icarus is just play that when I got a little bit of time, just jump in while I'm watching something. But yeah, it's try to play Death Stranding whenever I can. I need to get back to the altars because I'm still at the start of Act 2 and I want to get through that. But I wanted to finish Death Stranding 2 first. But now that Dying Light the Beast, which was the next game I was looking forward to, got delayed, I guess I have more time now. I don't have to rush things quite as quickly. But and then outside of that, just putting together Warhammer stuff. I put together a box of Assault Intercessors, which is funny because I was like, these must be like an older model where like they manufacture them in bulk, of course, because they're probably easy to manufacture.
Mhm.
So I can definitely feel like the plastic when I compare the plastic feel to like the uh Sisters of Battle that I purchased, the plastic feels better on the Sisters than it does on these Space Marines. So I feel like it must be like an old like injection mold or something because they have like these lines on mold lines on them versus the other ones. But they have so many freaking gubbins where it's like, oh, you got to put like your pistol holster and then you have a knife. And I'm like, those things are such a pain in the ass. It's like, oh, and then if you want, you also have an ammo pouch or a grenade pouch. I'm like, I can't fit shit on here, man. I don't have no space. Like, it's so hard to, and they're so tiny. I'm like, I need like tweezers or something. I have blue tack and I try to put like the blue tack on the end of like a push pin and then to try to like hold the item and then like hold against it. And then if the glue dries enough, I can just kind of like gently pull the blue tack off because it won't like fully it'll be not as strong as the liquid cement, but it's like
Mhm.
I'm like, look, I cut off all the freaking belt accessories, put them in a bag. I'm like, there's no way I'm putting these fucking things on, man. I don't. It was so hard to put on the the worst part about the holster and the knife was that all the arms are in different positions. So it's like, and not every holster and well, at least every knife is almost like a different pose, I suppose. So it's like not every knife fits on every model depending on how the arms are placed. I'm like, man, these guys are so annoying to put together. I was like, this is so tough. But I think I'm just gonna I might put like the purity seals on them because those are at least pretty easy. So at least they have those on there for some added flair. But I was like, I don't think I'm gonna put on that. Not like the pouches matter for gameplay stuff. Like obviously, if I don't have the knife, then if I ever play in a tournament, it's like, well, they can't do the knife attack because they don't have the knife on the model. Like if it's on the model, they can do it. It's like their rule for GW. So, but I'm like, I can't with these belt crap, man. I'm just gonna be like, I'm just sorry, you got no ammo pouch, man. One clip and you're done. Sorry, bro. But
Your gubbins are over there. Go get them yourself.
yeah, it's like it's too much. And then I had a plan yesterday. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do like 3 hours of painting some of my Space Marines because like I went through and I looked at like okay, uh, Games Workshop has a great like playlist where they show you like oh here's how you paint your like they have an introductory how to paint like the introductory set of stuff and they'll use in that video they'll use the paints that you get. So like with the paints you get, this is how you do it. But then if you have the starter set or the ultimate starter set or the combat patrol, there's like it's more expanded, the paint scheme. So it's like, here's all the paints we use. And I watch it. I'm like, okay, I'll go buy these paints. So I went and bought like all the paints at the store. So I bought like a shit ton of paints uh, for the Space Marines. And I was like, oh, on Saturday, I have like 3 hours because the little guy was going to go stay with my mom and they're going to hang out. So I'm like, all right, he won't be here. I can paint. But I placed an order for a paint mixer the other day. They're like, I'm going to need to shake up my paints because I don't want to just shake them by hand. I feel like that can't be good enough, especially for some of these paints where like they can separate pretty well if they're not base paints. I'm like, I'll just get a little pot mixer and then mix it up. And it comes with like 100 metal bearings I can put in there if I wanted to help mix it up. And I was like, and that'll arrive and then I can do it. And like I was waiting for this fucking thing to get delivered. But of course, Amazon doesn't deliver on the weekends. They hand it off because only US Postal Service delivers.
Mhm.
And so I was like, I was waiting for I was like, oh, come on, man. I only had between like and usually I felt like if I get something on Amazon, usually it comes pretty quick. The next day. And I was like, oh no, where is it? I didn't even notice that the tracking said USPS. And I was like, come on. And like it didn't show up until like a little after 3, but I didn't get the notification until about 3:30. And by then I only had a half hour until the kid was going to come back. I was like, God damn it. So I had no time to paint. And I was so frustrated. I was like, damn it. I just want to do some painting. But
You're
oh
just
well.
sitting around staring at all your paints and figures, and you're just like, I have all the things, but I need the thing to help them.
I mean, I what I should have done is I do have some like it's essentially just a big old pack of like popsicle sticks, but they call them craft sticks, but like this fucking popsicle
Yeah.
sticks. And I was like, I could just hand mix it, like shake it and then stir it and be fine, especially with like a base that's just like a solid color, a primary color, like I have for the Space Marines. And what I should have done is just started because I sprayed those with the spray can of the base, but because some of the models have unique poses, I wasn't able to get, especially because they were on the base, I couldn't get full coverage on certain parts of them. I should have just hand mixed that paint and then put on the base layer in prep. And then once that was done, I shaken up the oil, the non-oil would have been easy because that's like a pretty thin paint. I could have easily shook that out and done that step, then waited to do the other paints I wanted. But I was like, at that point, I mean, I did other stuff. Like I watched the new Final Destination movie, and then I think I played some video games or something. I don't know what I did, but I was like, damn it, I really want to do some miniature painting. Like, I got too many things I want to do, and not enough time to
Uh-huh.
commit. And I get decision paralysis on like, what do I want? What will I enjoy the most? But then I don't end up doing anything because I'm like, I'm too like, oh, but if I do this, I'll probably really have enjoyed doing this, even though I know I'm gonna like whatever I do. Like I had that with Death Stranding, where I'm like, I should play some Death Stranding since I haven't played in a couple days. And the podcast is tomorrow, so I should play it. And I got like, right after the kids went to lay down, I should just play. I got like 2 hours, and then I was like, instead of doing the mini painting, even though I got the mixer in, and I was like, I guess I'll try some Death Stranding. And I went, I'm like, I'm having a great time playing it. It's like once I do it, it's like I get like the same way with like sometimes like working out where I'm like, oh, it was a long day or whatever, and blah blah blah. And if I start to think like, oh, maybe I could just because I only got to do 4 days, I can push this day and then do it tomorrow. Like, no, I gotta commit, and I'll take like the pre workout to usually that helps me commit to it, and then I'll be like, all right, let's do it. And I start, I'm like, oh yeah, I this is great. What am I? Why did I stop? Not want to do this? Like I feel great afterwards. I'm always watching like a movie or something during, so it's not like I'm not doing anything. I'm multitasking, but uh, I just wish I had more time to do all the things.
I always have that problem of like, okay, I don't have time to I don't have a lot of free time. So I'm going to schedule when I'm going to do the things I need to do, and then I'm going to have the free time. I'm going to schedule the free time. And this is what I'm going to do during the free time, especially like on the weekend. And then the weekend comes and I'm just like, I don't want a brain anymore. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
I
sit in
did.
front of the computer.
Right, just gotta refresh. Like, I was thinking the other day, I was like, "Oh, when the kid's gone, but before the stuff gets here, I need to take care of the dishes, so I'll do that, and I'll do this, I'll clean up some of the stuff in the living room, and then I gotta take care of the fish tank. I'll do that today while he's not here instead of tomorrow." And then I end
Mhm.
up just like, "Okay, well, I'm also gotta eat, so I'll order some food while I wait for that food to get here. I'll take care of this stuff, and then I get done, and I'm like, and then I'll paint." And it's like I had a plan, and it just didn't work. And I was like, "Damn it." But
There's some weekend I'll even write it down, and then, Saturday, I'll look at my planner and be like, "Who did this? Who put all this here? Who are they
yeah,
kidding? This wasn't
this is
me."
this is future me's problem.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, no, I'm future me
What is
now."
past me thinking?
Yeah. Yep. It's funny. But yeah, just need more time. Like I said, it'll be easier once the little guy is older and can do stuff either by himself or wants to do them with other people. Like now he sometimes will want to hang out with his bro, but his bro's like doesn't want to play, but he'll be able to watch like a tablet next to his
Mhm.
brother on his bed. So at least they're together out of my way. But then I'm always concerned about, okay, he's away or he's watching the tablet and sitting with his mom. Maybe I can do something, but I don't want to commit to something that might be interrupted if suddenly he wants to pivot and come hang out with me or whatever. So
Yeah.
usually I'll just try to be like, I'll make them commit to him being with them. I'm like, okay, I gotta take care of dishes. I gotta do this. I gotta go pick up groceries. I gotta do whatever. So or do this. Like I'm like, okay, I gotta go do the podcast. He's gonna be with you. Just let him sit for a bit. But yeah, it's just I mean, because they're if I like because I that's why I like at least catching up on video content while I work out is easy enough. It's like okay, got 45, 50 minutes doing a workout. I can watch something, catch up on it while it happens. So at least I'm killing two birds with one stone. So that's always good. Yeah, but yeah, I'm curious how many. Again, like I said, I'm curious how many chapters are in Death Stranding because I don't want to know, but I'm like curious how far. Like if I just I'm kind of am doing just the MSQ stuff. I have done a couple side things, but not nearly as much. I was probably just gonna wait to do those after the fact. I did see Kojima said or KojiPro said like 70% of players kept playing after they beat the game,
Mhm.
which I thought was a really good statistic. And I never did get I don't think I got the platinum in the first game. I'm close to getting it, and I was gonna go back and get it because I think when you played Director's Cut, all your trophies carried over. So I was like, ooh, I'll have Director's Cut PS5 and then the base game on PS4, and that'll be 2 platinums if I get the platinum. But I didn't do that. I think I had some missing. I need to get like 5 stars on a couple preppers. But I was like, yeah, it's a lot of people who kept playing. Although usually I like to do the bulk of stuff before I beat a game, and
Yeah,
then
I'm the
if I
same
want to,
way.
yeah, and I like to have just a little bit of clean at the end. I don't think I'll platinum Death Stranding 2, but I'll probably run around and do some side stuff again because then I'll have more things unlocked and whatnot. But yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it there. I don't have any other notes. Did I write anything down? I started trying to take notes. I don't think I had anything down. Nope, that was pretty
I
much it.
have notes for Ragnarok, but it's all shit that I need to go back and do because I skipped over it, so it's not interesting.
That's when I took notes for a dream for some reason. I don't know why I did that. I was like, oh, I'm gonna tell Isley about this dream I had, and I was like, why?
I'll do
Why?
that. I'll wake up in the morning and be like, oh, that was such a crazy dream. I'm gonna write it down, and then I'll go read it like a couple days later and be like, what the fuck was I talking about? What is this?
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why I got to delete that note. I don't need it here. But anyways, all right. Well, go ahead and call it there. Thank you for all tuning in. Thank you, Isaiah, for joining. And we'll see you all next time.
Bye.